What's up, folks? We are back with a different series for the first time in a very long time. The league we are racing in here is Weekend Night Racing, which is the rebranding of what was Hyperdrive, which you saw that series a few months ago conclude here on my channel. And yeah, so this is round one of that, and this season went on from uh, January, early to mid-January, all the way up until and through early April, I believe. So, yeah, it is already concluded. And I was debating whether or not to post these videos. I got so behind on videos because, like you guys knew, life was extremely busy for me then. And to not get into too many spoilers, the season was cut off. The league was disbanded. And if you remember back to my finale video of Hyperdrive Racing, when I showed my interview at the end and I talked about the issues that exist in the league and why they exist and what they should do about it, if you haven't seen that, the finale of Hyperdrive, just fast forward to the end of the race, and I do an interview after winning the finale. Little plug to myself there, and I do an interview saying like, yeah, like here's what's wrong with the league because the admins themselves has been saying like I don't know what's going on, so I told them, you know. So I'm not going to rehash any of that here. And spoiler alert, none of that was listened to and nothing changed. So, but here we are with some good, tough racing. The toughest racing I would have in this year's game was in this league. So yeah, looking to get a good result here. Didn't have the best qualifying lap here at round one Australia. And so yeah, it's all going to come down to this run. Current pole position held by Challenger player, F1 Challenger, Black Box, but he will not be here for the whole season. He will only be in for the first few races, and then he will not be able to race beyond that due to his schedule. So yeah, some great experience. Again, I'm racing F1 Challengers players, but never qualify for Challengers by myself because the way you qualify for Challengers is absolute dog shit. But besides the point, as you can see here, the lap is good and hooked up so far through the first sector. Very easy to invalidate on that curb on the outside as it's kind of banana shape. You hit the apex of that curb and sometimes you just cross over the line. Really ruins your whole lap because you can't not push through there because then it leads onto the longest stretch, well, longest full throttle section of the entire lap. Take a lot of curb here. Actually helps keep the car more settled because you can use less steering angle. And coming into Sector 3, ignoring the slow cars that invalidated their laps and are just putting around the last few corners here. Maybe I took a little bit too much curb on the inside there. Carry as much speed as we can through here. Short shift to keep the traction. So easy to lose the traction, especially in this year's game, through those final two corners. Running it up to the line, and it's going to be P2, 117.3. Solid lap, if I do say so myself. Wasn't perfect, but it was definitely a solid result. Black Box on pole. We are second. Rick Dalton third. DJ Death Dragon fourth. And so on and so forth. You guys can clearly see the lineup yourself. And yeah, just a really good lineup of drivers. For those of you who are familiar with watching my SRL videos, if I could put it in perspective, I would say if the top, I don't even know how to word it, if the top 10 drivers in the championship in this league all raced in SRL, they would be top 13 easily. If I included myself in that patch, like the other 9 drivers would also get in the top 13 in standings, alongside Freya Bile could probably hang, Nicolo could hang as well, and obviously I guess if you include Simone in that as well, so it would be like, it's a bunch of drivers of that quality all in the top 10 of this league. It's a more of a condensed skill league at the top tier, as I believe this was a 3-tiered league in this iteration, which it was a 7-tier league a year ago. My oh my, how things have gone downhill. They went from 7 tiers to just 3, but that's what happens when you allow drivers to choose their tier, which thus just makes them sandbag and always want to race in lower tiers for easier wins. But that's a topic I've already gotten into, like I said in the in the Hyperdrive finale. video. But even though I've talked a lot of smack on this league, but like I said, it was with good intentions. Like I meant it in a way that I want the best for the league and I want the best for the racing. And it just sucks that you have a bunch of admins that at the end just didn't give a shit. And the one or two that did care, there was too much on the plate for them to do everything. And then they couldn't put in the effort and they wanted to, and it all just fell apart. It is a shame, but hey, at least at the end of the day, everyone that wants the league race, there's plenty of leagues out there for us. Even the people running the league, if they want to get back together and just run a smaller league, like they can. It's not like this is the end for any of us. There's still tons of racing to be had on the F1 games, which is something I do really like about this game. It's not like there's a bunch of people fighting for like spots in only 2 or 3 leagues. I mean, another game I play by comparison is like I'm a big fighting game guy, and if you want to play like the big regional tournaments. Well, if you don't live near Austin, Texas, or near New York, or in California, like you ain't finding shit. So that is something I do like about the F1 game, where you can be from anywhere because since league racing is all online, there's always plenty of ways to compete in the game. Even though at the highest level, the way you qualify for esports is dog shit. But it can't all be perfect, but still, a lot of great racing to be had in this league, so please do stay tuned throughout this season. There's a lot of some of my best races in my career. A little spoiler there are um, in this league, in this season. Great battles in the points. Yeah, it's still definitely worth watching. I mean, a lot of where the league was kind of falling apart was not in Tier 1 as much. You mean, definitely your top guys in Tier 1 were still carrying it, but it was really going downhill at the admin level, at the management level, so to say, and in the lower tiers as well, because there's a lot of people sandbagging and just purposely running in Tier 2, which is a shame, because if they all would have been in Tier 1, like, you could have had a league so competitive that the gap between first and last is less than half of a second. You know, we're talking that kind of level competition. One of the elite PlayStation grids in the world we could have had. But I'm not going to reminisce on what could have been. Like I said, still, nonetheless, we got a fantastic grid here. Starting P2, which is almost a moral P1, because like I said, Black Box is not going to be here the whole season. So I don't really need to worry about fighting him too much in terms of points. So if anything, I'm just fighting the rest of the field. But that doesn't mean I don't want to race this guy for the win. Australia is a track I've historically really liked this track. And in a lot of games in the past, I was very strong here. But in this year's game, I just felt, maybe just something wasn't clicking with me. Whether it was like the cars on this track in this year's game, I wasn't as good. I mean, I'm not saying it's the game's fault. It's my fault. But I don't know, maybe I just wasn't quite getting the setup right. Who knows? But I didn't feel as great on this track as I usually did. So to still qualify P2 and beyond for my goal as a podium in this race, that would be a great start to my season, especially with round 2 being Imola. If I can get a decent amount of points in those first 2 rounds, once we start getting to the middle and even the end of the season, where all of my strongest tracks are, I would really be in to finally get a championship in this league in Division 1. I've gotten other championships in these leagues, like the multiplayer car championship. I've won both times. A little shout out to myself there. But I really want that Division 1 championship. I'm second in the championship 2 years in a row. So here we go. The lights are out for the very first race of the season. We do get a slightly better start than Black Box. We're going to be able to get alongside of them, but we're going to brake early. We're going to respect the space. We get our first warning right away on the first corner. He holds it around the outside. I don't want to overextend and fight too hard and cause an incident. So we're going to slot in behind early on. There's already been an incident, already a driver out of the session, a couple drivers out of the session, and that is going to be a VSC here right away in this one. We would get back to green. Excuse me. Ugh, I'm dying. Right at the beginning of lap 2. Yeah, we have slotted in behind Black Box here. He's definitely got a couple tenths of pace advantage on us on this track. So our main goal is to just, like I said, secure our podium. So we're just going to be trying to break away from the cars behind. But hey, if I can stay with him even a little bit, get a little bit of DRS, that's just going to help my race all the more. So I was kind of juggling back and forth mentally. Do I use a bunch of my battery right now to try to stay close to Black Box, get that DRS to pull me away from the rest of the field? Or do I save it to potentially fight some of the guys behind, especially a couple of them that had started on the medium tires? So, I mean, as you can see with my battery usage, not using too much battery, I see Black Box breaking away. I think he was using a lot of battery early on to break away from me, so I'm just going to allow him to do that, focus on my race, and not dump all my battery so I'm able to defend my position when inevitably some of the medium runners do start to catch up. As we advance forward a little bit, we're on lap 5 now, and yeah, not too much has changed. I do got a couple drivers and a little bit of a DRS train behind me, but they haven't been quick enough to catch the whole way up to me. Still got over half of my battery left. Black Box is starting to check out up front, but yeah, as I look behind, you can see guys catching up behind me. The Ferrari with the run, we're going to try to hold it. He's on the medium tire, though. He's got the pace advantage over us at this point in the race. And yeah, he's going to get the position on us. But I wasn't worried one bit because in terms of the long run, I'm still looking good to beat him, no problem. I'm on the preferred strat. It's lap 5 and I'm right with him when he needs to be pulling multiple seconds out ahead of me. So yeah, every little bit of time that I can even stick with him a little bit is great for me because like I said, in the long run of this race, we will be looking very good when we go to the medium tires. He will not have the gap to be able to stay ahead of us in our second stint of the race. We got the DRS on him. Want to really be careful if your braking point going into here. When you have the DRS open, carrying more speed into the corner, you just got to brake that a little bit earlier. And yeah, double dosing of the DRS is going to help us stay closer for a little bit longer. Like I said, every little bit of time that he's not braking away from me. And it's the same shit I've said 100 times in situations like this in league racing. I'm sure you guys got it by now. Pulling it forward a little bit more. First sector here of lap 8, still within the DRS of the Ferrari ahead, and that Ferrari is AC Immortal, who it has the potential to be one of our big rivals in this. In the, I believe it was Hyperdrive. No, it was still Parabolical at the time. I think it was Hyperdrive. But regardless, the first multiplayer car season that we had in this league, even though it's rebranded a bunch of times, I'm just considering it the same league. He was my rival for the championship in the first time. We were able to win the championship, but yeah, he's definitely one of the guys that I'm looking at to give me a fight for the championship. Like I said, I've been second twice in a row, and both those people that I got second to are not here, so in theory, I should be the favorite, but you guys have seen the races in this league. They're all very competitive. It's not like SRL when you only got like 1 or 2 guys fighting for the wins on any given week. You got 5, 6, even 7 guys that could win on any given day. So yeah, very competitive here. And this safety car has come out at a fucking awful time, because this has handed the race to the medium runners. People that are on mediums right now, they can take hards to the end, but hard runners can't take mediums to the end. So I gotta make a guess of what to do here. I'm guessing to stay out, because if I can get another safety car, that'll save us in this race. But yeah, this just really sucked. I mean, this is that window. I mean, that can always happen in racing. There's that window where if a safety car comes out, it kind of fucks you. And it's definitely happened to us here. If there's not another safety car, we are screwed, and everyone that started this race on the medium tires just got absolutely handed the race. Now time for the safety car restart, end of lap 11, beginning of lap 12. Only 12 drivers remaining, but I got a lot of guys on fresh mediums behind me. So yeah, this is going to be a very irritating part of the race where I'm just getting overtaken. It's going to be miserable. I tried to get as good of a start as I could, but yeah, the extra grip of those medium tires, Black Box gets behind me right away, and I got another car right up my chop. It's the Ferrari of AC Immortal. And yeah, holding on to my position is going to be near impossible on these tires. You know, like I said, even if I pitted, I would have had to still pit again under green flag running if we don't get another safety car. So still, you know, we could get brought back into this one, but it is looking doom and gloom for us at the morning, which, you know, like I always say, really sucks when something happens like this, where I had a great qualifying, I was having a great race, and at no fault of my own, a fucking safety car is just absolutely chalked it for us. So yeah, that really sucks. AC Immortal's got the run on us on the fresh hard tires. I'm sorry, we've got a bunch of people on fresh hard tires coming off the mediums, but still, big tire advantage. Nonetheless, no DRS to stay with him. Now we got Rick Dalton coming around our outside. He's on medium tires, fresh tires. And yeah, we are just falling backwards. This is an absolutely miserable part of the race for us. We're doing everything we can to hold position, even hoping that maybe if a safety car can come out in a couple laps and we can take pit to mediums, take them to the end. But even then, I'll be behind everyone that had already pitted. So yeah, it's looking back, there was nothing I could do. We were kind of fucked out of this one the moment that safety car came out. So just got to make do with the situation we got, we guess, as we get our second warning. And yeah, we're falling behind. Miserable situation for us right now. Lap 14 now, not even halfway through this race. We got Aston Martin behind us with DRS. Lunged it down the inside on fresh mediums. We're going to try to hold it. He uses ERS to pull that little bit ahead. And yeah, still falling behind all the way down to P6 now. Going to start lap 19 now, and you can see we gain a position as there was a driver in the pit. So that is one position gain for us. But we're staying out and hoping for a safety car. We're trying to not pit under green if we don't have to. So yeah, we had luck rip this one out of us. So we're hoping that maybe we can get a little luck to at least bring us into contention for some more points. And a lap 21, about to start lap 22, and we overtake another car in the pit. So we're at least up to P4 at this juncture of the race. Now, we have caught up to a couple cars, but yeah, our tires are dying. We're going to have to pit. Our tires are not going to make it. They are well over 60%. We're going to have to dive into the pits, but at least we've gone far enough that we can go to soft, so we will be quick for the rest of this race, but let's see what position we come out in. Still falling back, and yeah, all the way down to P8. Only 10 runners left in the track as a couple more have retired. And yeah, this is just a miserable start. We got fucked with the safety car timing. And yeah, we had a great race going, and now we don't. It's miserable. Lap 23, though. Rick Dalton sets the fastest lap of the race. As we go by the pits, we gain one position. So up to P7, maybe we can get a couple more positions before the end of the race. About to start the final lap of the race. You can see there, we tick up the P6. Someone was in my position with the hard tires. They actually were able to take them all the way and then got a puncture. And yeah, so they boxed, obviously, with the puncture. They were hoping for a safety car to bail them out. Didn't happen. I was hoping for a safety car to bail us out because, the safety car fucking ruined the race for us. But, yep, it looks like it's going to be P6 for us. And a lonely old P6 is what it would be. It's Black Box wins with Immortal behind in second and Rick Dalton in third. And man, that's just a really shitty one to take. I mean, we were clear second best in this race. And yeah, I mean, what else is there to say? Sometimes you just get absolutely your race fucked by a safety car. Unless your name's Logan, then it happens a lot. But yeah, hopefully we can bounce back. I guess the one moral win there is that we showed that we have pace to consistently race at the very front and get consistent podiums instead of doing what we did last season. We kind of struggled for pace at the beginning, getting, probably average finish of like 6, and then right at the end of the season, found pace and we're getting podiums. But now we're looking right away to be able to fight for podiums the whole time. But it still sucks to be behind a chunk of points right at the beginning of the season. Hopefully we can bounce back in round 2 at Imola. But if you've seen my videos before, you know that it's a fucking miserable track for pads. So yeah, things are looking real bad for us early on here. But we'll see where they go from here.